I never imagined that someone so close could try to destroy everything I had built. I'm 38 years old, and for the past 5 years, I've been married to Kate, the woman I once believed would stand by me no matter what. Our life together was far from perfect, but I loved her, and I thought our bond was strong enough to face anything. That illusion was shattered by someone I never thought would become my enemy, Kate's own sister, Angela. From the very beginning, there was something off about Angela. She's always been the center of attention in their family. Pretty, charming, and manipulative in ways that most people either missed or chose to ignore. Growing up, Kate lived in Angela's shadow. Their parents favored Angela in every way. She got the best of everything while Kate was constantly told to be more like her sister. That imbalance followed them into adulthood, and Angela seemed to thrive on it. I noticed Angela's behavior toward me early on. At first, it was subtle, little comments, long stares, laughs that lingered a little too long. I brushed it off, thinking I was just reading too much into things. But over time, it escalated. She'd find excuses to touch my arm during conversations, compliment me in ways that made me uncomfortable, and even made suggestive jokes when Kate wasn't paying attention. I tried to ignore it, not wanting to stir trouble between the sisters. Still, something about her always made me uneasy. Things took a turn after I got a big promotion at work. I'd been working hard for years, and when I finally earned a senior position and bought a new car, Angela's behavior intensified. It wasn't subtle anymore. Her flirtation became obvious and uncomfortable. She'd make comments about how lucky Kate was, how attractive I looked in a suit, how she couldn't believe I hadn't been snatched up sooner. I decided to talk to Kate about it. I told her, gently, that Angela was making me uncomfortable, that some of the things she said and did weren't appropriate. But Kate brushed it off. She said Angela was just being her usual dramatic self, and that I was probably overthinking it. I let it go, not wanting to cause tension. Maybe I was imagining it, I told myself. Then came the day that changed everything. Kate had gone out of town for a weekend trip to visit an old friend. I was home alone when Angela showed up unannounced. I opened the door, confused, and asked what she was doing there. She smiled and said she was just passing by and thought she'd say hi. I was immediately on edge, but I didn't want to be rude. I invited her in for a few minutes, thinking it'd be harmless. I was wrong. The moment she stepped inside, something felt off. She sat too close. She asked if I wanted a drink. She complimented my cologne. Then she stood up, walked over, and tried to kiss me. I stepped back, shocked, and told her to stop. She laughed at first like it was a joke, then tried again, more aggressively. I raised my voice and told her to leave. She looked at me with cold, angry eyes and stormed out. I was shaking. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I tried calling Kate immediately, but she didn't answer. I texted her, explaining that something serious had happened and we needed to talk. Hours passed before she responded. When she finally did, her message wasn't what I expected. She asked me how I could do that to Angela. I was stunned. Apparently, Angela had already spoken to her and twisted the story. According to her, I was the one who had tried to seduce her. She claimed she came over to drop something off for Kate and that I had cornered her, made advances, and scared her so much that she ran out in tears. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own wife believed her. I pleaded with Kate to listen to me, to hear my side of the story, but she shut me out. She said she needed space and didn't want to talk to me right now. I was devastated. Days turned into weeks. Kate wouldn't come home. She stayed with her parents, and they sided with Angela too, of course. I was made out to be a monster. The emotional toll was unbearable. I couldn't sleep, couldn't focus on work. The woman I loved, the woman I married, thought I had betrayed her, and all because she chose to believe a lie. I started questioning everything. If Kate could believe Angela so easily, without even giving me a chance to explain, what did that say about our marriage? Was her loyalty to her sister stronger than her trust in me? Could I live with someone who would abandon me at the first accusation, especially one so outrageous? Eventually, I made the hardest decision of my life. I filed for divorce. I contacted a lawyer, gathered the necessary documents, and began the process. I didn't want to live like that, under suspicion, surrounded by people who saw me as something I wasn't. I needed peace, even if it meant losing the woman I loved. The divorce papers must have shaken Kate. A few weeks later, she called me. She sounded different, quieter, softer. She apologized. She said she'd made a mistake. She had spoken to people, overheard Angela talking to a friend, and finally started to put the pieces together. She realized Angela had lied. She realized she had been manipulated, not just by her sister, but by her entire family, who always treated her as second best. Kate cried on the phone, saying she was sorry for not believing me, for not trusting the man she married. But it was too late. I told her that some wounds cut too deep. I still cared for her, but I couldn't go back to the way things were. I had been left out in the cold when I needed her most. Angela, meanwhile, had moved on. She found herself a wealthy boyfriend and flaunted the relationship publicly. When Kate confronted her and demanded the truth, Angela was smug and unapologetic. She called Kate naive, told her she was always too easy to manipulate, and laughed off the pain she had caused. That was the moment Kate truly saw her sister for who she was. I've since moved on with my life. The pain still lingers, but I'm healing. I learned that trust is everything in a relationship, and once it's gone, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. I lost a marriage, but I gained clarity, and sometimes that's the only closure you get. Kate tried to make amends in the weeks that followed. She sent long messages, letters even, pouring out her guilt and regret. She admitted that she had always known, deep down, that Angela had a toxic hold over her life, but it had taken losing me to fully open her eyes. She asked if we could meet just to talk. Part of me wanted to see her again, to hold on to the good memories and maybe find a way forward. But another part of me remembered the silence, the disbelief in her eyes when she chose her sister's lie over my truth. We met once. It was at a quiet cafe we used to go to back when we were dating. She looked tired, worn down, like the weight of everything was finally pressing in on her. She reached for my hand across the table, and I didn't pull away, but I didn't squeeze back either. She apologized again, face to face this time, and said she didn't expect anything from me. She just wanted me to know she saw everything clearly now. She told me about her childhood, how her parents always made her feel like Angela's shadow, how they brushed her off, dismissed her feelings, and made her believe Angela was always right, no matter what. She admitted she had projected that pattern into our marriage. And when Angela made the accusation, she froze. She wasn't just hearing her sister's words. She was hearing years of conditioning of Angela is the good one. Angela is to be trusted. I listened quietly, and when she was done, I simply said, "I wish you had trusted me when it mattered most." We sat in silence for a while. There wasn't anger between us anymore, just sadness, regret, a sense that something beautiful had been broken, and no matter how carefully we tried to gather the pieces, it would never quite fit the same way again. After that meeting, we stopped contacting each other, not out of hatred, but out of mutual understanding. We both needed to heal, separately. As for Angela, she eventually burned bridges with just about everyone. Her new boyfriend realized what kind of person she really was and left her. She tried to crawl back into her parents' good graces, but by then, even they were tired of her manipulation. Last I heard, she was bouncing between jobs, blaming everyone else for her problems. I don't find joy in her downfall, but I do find peace in knowing that the truth came out, even if it was too late to save my marriage. Today, I live alone. I have my own place, a dog, and quiet evenings where I cook for myself and enjoy the calm. I focus more on my career, reconnected with old friends, and started therapy, not just for the trauma, but to better understand myself and the patterns I let slide for too long. Sometimes I think about Kate and wonder what could have been if only she had stood by me. But life doesn't always give second chances. Sometimes it gives you pain so you can grow, and scars so you can remember what you deserve. And what I deserve is honesty, loyalty, and peace. Nothing less.